So today we're going to be redoing our Holley 4160 carburetor for our next project. It's a very specific one because it does not have adjustable floats and they are spring controlled with a little doodad similar to the Edelbrocks. For whatever reason, Holley decided that this model wasn't going to have it. Carb repair kit 37119 for this specific model because it is a 80457 series. Kit comes with all kinds of crap, most of which we're probably not going to use. New power valve, new, what do you call this thing? The thing that pushes the fuel up through the bottom. Whatever that's.
Accelerator?
Accelerator pump, there we go. And new needles and seats and all kinds of stuff. Okay. So on this one, I've already removed the little plastic shield. There's a ultra tiny little clip, and the needle comes out with this little thing attached to the side, and then you unscrew it, and then you screw in the new one. So you gotta make sure you have your little metal washer in there.
What are you doing now?
Just trying to get everything situated back in here. It all kind of has to line up perfectly, and then you have to take your little Jesus clip and hope that it doesn't go missing. Okay. Alright, so that's one needle replacement. And the thing you got to look at with the ones that are not adjustable, this line right here needs to be of level with this line down here. Otherwise, if this is too high or too low, then your float will not be correct. And the only way to fix that is by bending this little metal bar on the inside, just like the Edelbrocks. So the next thing is changing out the whatever you called it the last time that I forgot.
Accelerator pump.
Accelerator pump. For whatever reason, I cannot remember that. This accelerator pump actually doesn't look too bad, so we will keep it for future things in case we need one. But I'm going to go ahead and replace it because we've already got the new stuff. As long as it comes off in one piece. There we go.
I take it you've already prepped and cleaned all of these surfaces?
No. Most of this was already clean enough to begin with. It didn't look that dirty. Like, I don't know if somebody already previously rebuilt this or whatever, but just because we had it apart and it was having some issues, I decided to just go ahead and do most of this. The outside of this carburetor looks terrible, but on most of the end parts, like these screws are shiny, which is pretty weird. But
how long has this carburetor been sitting?
I don't know. That it could be somewhere between 2014 and 2016 until now. But from what I can tell, there was no sludge in here. Not hardly any dirt at all. It was really clean. Like, I did not clean these out. They were already that clean, which is surprising from the way the outside looks. But we weren't able to start the truck the second time, but we got it to start the first time. And we just assumed there was something else wrong, but this was leaking out the top. So basically it's like a brass plug, and we just took a socket and pushed it down further, and hopefully that doesn't leak anymore. But like, there's a piece of rubber right here where the crossover tube goes, and that rubber's still like new. So I don't know if there was actually anything wrong other than we had a vacuum leak we didn't know about in the back of the carb that was just wide open. So I'm gonna go do the next valve for this bowl, and then we'll come back. All right, so we got both of our new needles and seats put in, and our accelerator pump. All the rubber is good on the crossover tubes. So next we're going to do our power valve. You want to get your smallest wrench and undo this thing. Normally these things come with like a 6.5. Pretty sure that this is a 6.5. It says there's a 6 and a 5 on it, but it looks old and we got a new one, so it's going away. It should come with, there it is, a little gasket on the back side, so make sure to not forget that, or it won't work properly. The power valve works off of a vacuum level when it provides fuel to the carburetor. I'm dropping everything. It looks like that. Just sits on the back. You screw that in. Make sure it's in there straight. And you don't have to crank this thing down, but it just needs to be snug. We haven't done anything with the primary jets. It didn't come with any, so I'm just going to leave those alone. And you've got your selection of gaskets. I think we're only going to be using 3 of these. Just going to figure out which ones. So that one goes there, and then you'll have your bowl gasket for the other side. Like that. And then this side already had a gasket on it. So we're just going to leave that concoction there because I don't know anything about this and I'm not going to take it apart. So we will have more extra gaskets. So the back side gets this bowl with 4 bolts. The longer ones go up front. Shorter ones go in the back. One thing a lot of people don't realize about these Holleys, as soon as you take the bottom bolts off, right here, fuel's gonna come out of them if you haven't drained it already. So just be prepared for that on a hot engine. It could cause a fire or, you know, just make a giant mess. And when you put these things back together, you don't have to crank them. You just snug them and then 1/2 of an ugga-dugga. Backside is done. Need the vacuum cap out of that box. One vacuum sealed. That's too small.
Why are you sealing all those off?
Because we're not using them for anything, but you don't want just an open vacuum or else it won't run right. So this one right here is your manifold vacuum for all the time. And this would be manifold vacuum for brakes or PCV. And then on the side, on here, this is your ported vacuum to hook to your distributor. And you got to make sure all of those are covered. And putting it back together. So your metering block goes on first, like that. And then you get your crossover tube. One second. All right, a little bit of lithium grease on the end of here to help the thing slide into the rubber. Maybe. Okay, we're just going to replace that because it ripped. Was not as good as I thought it was. Alright, so now you take this and slide it in there until it stops. And then you shove it in the hole. I'm just going to go ahead and do the front one too. Make sure you get your throttle lever underneath your accelerator pump. Everything's lined up. Tube is in, then you can put your bolts back on. Okay. And it looks like crap, but now it's got all new stuff. We're gonna put it on the truck next.